This is West African Voice Network.
Hello and many thanks for staying tuned to West African Voice Network. This is Newswave and I am Sangdonal Mendy. We kick off today's edition in Côte d'Ivoire as authorities mull cocoa price hike in response to US tariff. Côte d'Ivoire, the world's largest cocoa producer, is considering measures that could drive up cocoa prices in response to proposed US tariffs. Speaking at a press briefing in Abidjan, Agriculture Minister Kobenan Kwasi Adjumani said the country may raise export taxes on cocoa to offset potential revenue losses, which could make the commodity more expensive for foreign buyers, including those in the United States. The minister was speaking in the wake of the new tariff announced by the U.S. government, urging President Donald Trump administration to reconsider the decision. The proposed duties would impose a 21% tariff on Ivorian cocoa, the highest among West African nations, as part of a broader policy targeting imports from dozens of countries. While President Trump announced a 90-day pause on the tariff on Wednesday, Adjumani indicated that Côte d'Ivoire is prepared to respond economically if the tariffs are ultimately implemented. According to figures from the Coffee and Cocoa Council, CCC, Côte d'Ivoire exports between 2,000 and 3,000 metric tons of cocoa to the United States annually. In addition to potential domestic measures, Adjumani noted that the country is also seeking to strengthen trade relations with the European Union to recover from any potential losses if the US tariffs take effect. To development in Ghana, Finance Ministry to establish compliance decks under new Public Financial Management (PMF) Act amendments. Ghana's Finance Ministry is set to establish a dedicated compliance desk as part of efforts to enforce the upgraded Public Financial Management (PFM) Act 2025. This was announced by the Minister for Finance, Dr. Kassiel Atufosun, during a meeting with the World Bank Africa team led by Vice President Usman Jagana. This initiative is expected to strengthen transparency, improve public fiscal, financial management, and promote discipline within covered entities. Dr. Fosun emphasized the need to curb fiscal indiscipline, especially among public institutions that have been awarding contracts without the necessary commencement certificates. He noted that such practices have contributed to significant inefficiencies and budgetary shortfalls. As part of the amendments to the PMF Act, the Ministry of Finance is now empowered to issue commencement authorizations, a move the minister described as a major shift in fiscal oversight and accountability. Anti-news from the Sahel, former Malian finance minister hospitalized amid prolonged detention without trial. Mali's former finance and economy minister Boari Filai Sissoko has been admitted to an emergency medical unit in Bamako following a serious health breakdown while in detention. Sissoko has been jailed since 2021 without trial, facing prosecution for alleged financial mismanagement during the administration of former President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta. Among the charges are her involvement in the controversial purchase of presidential aircraft and accusations of over-invoicing military equipment worth approximately 130 billion CFA francs. Her deteriorating health condition has intensified concerns from rights groups and the international community over the length and legality of her pre-trial detention. Just last week, the Supreme Court rejected appeal for her release, sparking the renewed calls for due process and human treatment. Still in the Sahel Confederation advances joint military forces plan. The Confederation of Sahel State (AES) is intensifying efforts to build a unified military response to regional threats. Military experts from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger meet in Ouagadougou from April 8 to 11, 2025 to outline the structure and operations of a joint force, marking a significant step toward autonomous regional defense. According to Burkina Faso's Armed Forces General Staff, discussions focus focus on evaluating ongoing operations and implementing the AES defense and security pillar in line with the vision of the three heads of state. The meeting follows the trios withdrawal from ECOWAS and the G5 Sahel, signaling their push for sovereign security solutions amid political transitions. Ahead of the meeting, Mali's armed forces reported several coordinated operations in the Gao region. On March 28, AES troops intercepted 2 suspected terrorists in Jidara, while airstrikes on March 29 targeted armed groups in Harara and Fitili. These actions reflect deepening military collaboration bolstered by Turkey's made drones for surveillance and precision strike. Anti-news from across the sub-region. Tanzania opposition leader Tundu Lissu charged with treason after rally arrest. Tanzania opposition leader Tundu Lissu has been charged with treason following his arrest at a public rally where he called for electoral reform ahead of the country's general election scheduled for October. Lissu, who chairs the main opposition party Chadema, was arrested on Wednesday night with regional police accusing him of incitement. The opposition has been urging the government to implement electoral reforms to ensure a free and fair vote. On Thursday afternoon, Lissu appeared at the Kisutu Magistrate Court in Dar es Salaam, accompanied by his lawyers and fellow opposition politicians. He appeared in high spirits. The arrest took place late Wednesday after Lissu addressed supporters at a rally in Mbinga, located in the south of the country. He was forcibly taken into a police vehicle shortly after finishing his speech. Human rights activists have criticized President Samia Suluhu Hassan's government, accusing it of using heavy-handed tactics to silence opposition voices. That brings us to the end of this edition of Newswave on West African Voice Network. For more news from across the region and beyond, visit wavn.org. I am Sangdana Mendy. Thanks for listening.